Hello, hello, hello. I thought I would share some Tuesday tips for effective visibility. So, especially now we are more or even more online, some of us have been doing that for years anyway, but even though we're now more online, you might be thinking, well, what's this about sharing useful content? What's this about showing up in groups? What's this about being visible online and not hiding? And in a way, although this video is a bit about this, it's really nothing to do with that. This video is for you if you have ever thought to yourself, you know what, I really want to share some tips, but I don't know what to share. What do I give away? What do I do? So here's a few things to consider, because on a Tuesday, I'll invite you to share a Tuesday tip. And I thought that this week I would share a tip within a tip. So this is about sharing tips anytime you want, really. But in here on a Tuesday, it's great to do it. Although, to be fair, I'm quite happy for you to share your expertise and your tips at any time, as long as you don't drag in links from pages or links from websites or anything else like that. And the other thing, when you are sharing something that is your area of expertise, whether it's your offer or anything else, you don't ever need to be apologetic or seek permission or validation. So for those of you over the years who have posted in here, you never need to say, Jenny allowed me to do this, or thank you, Jenny, for allowing me to do that, because that's what the group's about. And to be honest, if you're not too sure that that's what the group's about, perhaps it's a case of reading some of the other posts and posting more and letting people get to know you before taking that big jump or leap to pitch. So here are a few things that you would need to consider. So I always talk about being visible, and that the people in the 63% of being most visible are the ones who get the referrals, the jobs, the gigs and everything else. So where do you start? If you want to share a tip in here about what you do and the work you do, there are very specific ways to do that, which are actually quite easy when you know how. So the first thing to do is think about your audience. People often talk about ideal clients and low-hanging fruit, but really that really dismisses the people that you could be working with that you might not have met yet. So think about your audience. Who are your audience? Not my audience or someone else's audience, but who are your audience and what do you like? Who do you want to reach? So think about that first. Then when you thought about, well, who are the people that you want to reach? Then think about, well, how do I want to do business? And now this might seem really simplistic or basic, but I do have people that say, I want to be an international speaker, but I don't want to travel away from my kids. And those two don't marry or don't meet. So if you are offering something and you don't want to be traveling around to do it, and especially now in these days and months, then make sure that it's in alignment with how you usually do business. The third thing, does this help you to be credible? You know, I'm a visibility specialist and I could share tips on all sorts of things. You know, I could tell you that if you want to keep all of your biscuits, or for my American friends, your cookies, so that they're fresh, that you can store marshmallows inside the same container that you're storing those biscuits or cookies, because it helps to draw out the moisture and keep them fresh. That's a really cool tip, but it's nothing to do with what I do as my business as usual. Yes, I'm doing air quotes. So make sure that you consider your audience, make sure that you consider your business and the business model. And if you're still playing with it, you know, maybe it's a suck it and see, and do I like it or not? And then the third thing to do is to make sure that you are being credible, i.e. not showing off, not using jargon, but able to share something that is in your zone of not even excellence, zone of genius. That phrase comes from a book called The Big Leap, which I highly recommend to anyone as a read or a reread. So now you've looked at the ABC, the next thing that you do is you look at, how can I share something which will really make me visible, in terms of I'm sharing something, so I'm now visible. So here's the thing that I know for sure. If you don't share in the group, then you will remain invisible. I know that it's scary and daunting for some of you. However, it's important. It's an important part of your marketing, an important part of your advertising, an important part of how you promote yourself, you know. And I decided when I reopened this group, yes, it's my group, but if I'm not visible in here every day, then it's quite easy for, you know, me to slip off your radar. It's quite easy for you to forget that I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a sip of mint tea because I've got a frog in my throat now. So it's really important for you to remain visible. And, you know, if you're struggling with that, every day I'll come in here and I'll do a short live and I'll address any concerns that you've got. So make sure that you share what they are in here. It is a safe space to do it, and nobody outside of this group sees what you post in here. The next thing you want to do when you are sharing your tip is to really make an impact. So what do I mean by that? Share the sort of tip that has someone go, ooh, that's juicy. You all have it no matter what you do. You know, in here we've got coaches, we've got speakers, we've got authors, we've got DJ in here, we've got photographers, we've got web designers, we've got money coaches, we've got mindset people, we've got people that help introverts, we've got people that work to help you with your book, your words, people that help you to take a pause, people that help you with your yoga, people that help you with your business like VAs, you know, people that help you with your relationships. There's all sorts of different people in here. And it doesn't matter what you do, even if you sell packets of silica gel, you know, there's always a really great tip or nugget that you can share. You know, remember the song, Things That Make You Go, ooh, that's what you want to be having in mind when you're sharing your tips. So do remember to do that as well. Now, later on or further down the line, when you are thinking, well, how do I share it? Maybe there's a story that's appropriate to it. So maybe you might look for the story. I talk about that a lot in the Visibility Activator program and accelerator system because it's an important pillar. And sometimes people think there's one story, and the story that you'll be forgiven for hearing from many coaches out there in the world is that you were, you know, 100 grand in debt and now you're living in a palatial mansion, you know, or you didn't have any clients and you were about to eat your last bean from a can and whoa, now look at me, I'm eating caviar in the Ritz. You know, the stories are important, and if that's your story, that's your story. However, there are lots of stories in between. So being able to harness that story, the story of you, the story of your business, the story of something else is really important. So hopefully helpful. If you're scratching your head wondering what Tuesday tip can I share, you've got a ton of ideas in this one here. In fact, if you're savvy and you think of each of those ideas, you've got enough for 3-6 weeks already, you know, and then some. So one more thing to say is tomorrow in here at 4 o'clock, I'm doing a live masterclass, and that live masterclass is around being able to set goals, and the sort of goals I hope will help you set visibility goals so that you don't have that, what shall I type? Oh my gosh, what shall I share? What shall I film? Or anything like that. So when you get those goals put down and laid down, it's like the foundations, and those foundations then have you go out there and be able to be visible in a way that's more comfortable, even if you're an introvert, even if you're a bit camera shy, even if you haven't really done it before, even if you've had to pivot in the pandemic, even if you've got no clients and you're tearing your hair out and you want to get out there. So hopefully helpful. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. But remember, even if you forget everything else that you have to remember, Tuesday's a really great day to share a tip. Share them in here any day of the week. And I will look forward to seeing what you share. And remember to use the hashtag Tuesday tip so that we can find them all easily. Bye for now.